Hey, this is Jake Jacobs, and we're here to look at UVI's Rcam Solo Instruments 2. I've had quite a while to play with this library, and I have found that the more I used it, the better I became at it. The the play modes, by default, when you pull up this violin, I pulled up violin, classical, and the layout is typical UVI. So if you go in and you select, right now I have violin KS wheel, and very convincing. It sounds really, really good. Let's go out of here and let's talk about the play modes. Right now it's in legato mode. And another mode that I like to play with is polylegato. I can play with that all day. So you have access to your articulations, your key switch layer up here. If you'll notice, by pressing, well, more on that, the blue keys later. If you press, so you have non-vibrato, you have tremolo, you have forte, you have, this is funny, and excuse me, you have so let's talk about the blue keys. You are able to access samples per string. So if I hold down this note here, only the samples for the G string, samples for the D string, samples for the A string, E string, and then or you can pull. Yeah, it just adds to a level of realism, being able to access samples for the strings, a different set of samples for the strings that are being played as if a real violinist were playing. So you have your reverb here. You can have extended range. I can play with that all day. You can turn that off. The timbre. Really add. That's a lot of fun to play with. So let's pull up some other sounds. Let's pull up a cello. And we'll go into, well, let's talk a little bit about the amount of sounds that you have. Well, you have classical, which classical key switch velocity or key switch wheel duration. I guess duration of the note. Pizzicato by string. And cello trill. So let's pull up. What I like to go to is KS wheel, and you have a nice filter on your mod wheel. And sometimes the samples, well, for violin and cello, samples may take a little bit to load, even with a solid state drive. So there we go. So this is the cello. They captured everything. So as soon as the mic, as soon as the bow starts to hit the string, you have that slight tear. You can actually adjust the attack, and it'll alleviate that. And let's play with poly legato and let's add in some reverb to that and add to some realism. Let's see. Good effects. You have your EQ right there, which I haven't played with much simply because the sounds sound so good. Let's play with Cathedral. Yeah, that's... that's drowned in reverb. So let's mess with a few other sounds. Let's go to, we have viola, violin. Well, we already played with the violin. Contrabass. There's a flute. Let's... play with that. There we go. Very classical, very convincing. Let's pull up some poly legato. That's actually... so that needs an oboe, not a flute. Let's mess with a few other things. We have guitars here, a harp. Let's mess with a classical harp. That's beautiful. Good. Might have to add some volume. And we'll play with the accordion. How's that? They have an accordion. I have to mess with the accordion. That's an accordion. Classical accordion. I didn't know there was classical accordion. We have French horns. Let's mess with that. I guess that's the limit. Let's do a French horn section, shall we? Yes, very cool. So, again, with this library, there's a lot to play with. I'm not going to go through everything. Do I like this library? I do. It did take me a lot of time to get used to it, to get used to the sounds. I haven't used it in any of my projects yet, but there'll be more to come. If you guys have any questions regarding this library at all, join me on my Patreon. I can answer any questions that you may have. So thank you guys very much.